The term global savings glut came on the scene in about 2005 with future Fed Chairman Ben Bernanke as part of his theory why the United States, taking into account its persistent current accounts deficit, wasn't running a higher long-term interest rate than it should have. The theory continued that the United States was acting as a sponge to absorb all the excess savings out there and balancing the global capital imbalances. Many observers have poo-pooed that theory because it turns U.S. excess consumption, i.e. living beyond our means, into some kind of global public good. Now, there is truth to that. However, there was a lot of money sloshing around at the time. Number one, China's trade surplus. In 2009, the Chicoms had foreign reserves of $2 trillion. There were other developing countries who, still scarred by the currency crises of the 1990s, had imposed capital outflow restrictions and had encouraged their citizens to save more. Oh, and don't forget developing countries that were wallowing in cash due to the oil price spike. And these investors were not that anxious to put money in the U.S. equities market because they still remembered the NASDAQ stink of 2000. There were also U.S. corporations were sitting on a lot of cash because at the time they were in that economic sweet spot where the economy has recovered so that they're making profits, but not so much that they're actually willing to share them with their employees. So what? I mean, did the global savings glut cause the financial meltdown? No, I don't think it's fair to blame retirees in Hong Kong for the debacle of 2008. Savings is a good thing. It can increase productivity, increase jobs, increase wages, and we all get more cool stuff. But what if the savings is misallocated? Misallocated towards crappy speculative investment? Misallocated by a Federal Reserve that keeps interest rates low and misstates risk. Misallocated by complex, vaguely illiquid financial instruments that no one understands. Or a U.S. government that wants to put everyone into a house whether they like it or not. Or misallocated by a market sure that it is always going to go up and loving that whole asset-based wealth thing. The lesson learned is that everybody needs to know what your savings is doing and where it's going. Next up, Glass-Steagall.